If someone would have told me I was getting a divorce at age 56, leaving my home and my business, I would have told them they was a lie and the truth ain't in it. Well, this is my divorce story. Hey, I'm Tracey, the Sacred CEO, and welcome to Life After Divorce show. I created Life After Divorce after leaving my marriage. I was in a relationship for 10 years and I had 6 great years with a very dynamic man. And after 8 of those years, I decided that it was time to go. As much as I wanted to stay, as much as I enjoyed thinking about living a full out life with this amazing man, we got to a place in a space where we couldn't work it out. I exhausted every effort to make my marriage work. Why? I didn't want it to be a failure. I didn't want to say I married the man that I loved and the man of my dreams, and it didn't work out. We were strong pillars in the community. We were in the healing community, and we actually helped a lot of relationships stay together. And now we get to a point where, okay, we're separating. We're leaving the marriage. And it was really, really rough. I want to talk a little bit about leaving the marriage and coming to a state of confusion and how that feels. When we've been giving the program that marriage is supposed to be forever and that a good wife's role is to stick and stay no matter what. No matter if it's abusive, no matter if it's infidelity, no matter if it's a lack of communication, a lack of love, a lack of finances, we're supposed to thug it out, right? We're supposed to survive in it, honey. And we're not supposed to talk about it. We're supposed to be on hush hush mode. You're not supposed to share what's going on with your family. You're not supposed to share what's going on with your girlfriend. Well, one thing I learned is that sometimes you're going to need to speak to somebody. You're going to need to share what is going on, especially if you are experiencing abuse. You have to break the silence. Now, let me give you an example of breaking the silence. The example of breaking the silence is going to someone who is married and who is working on their marriage. In those are the communities that you want to speak up in. You want to speak to a wife who's working on her marriage if you're a woman. You want to speak to a husband who's working on his marriage if you're a man. And these are the people you need to speak to. One lesson that I learned after leaving my marriage is I made the wrong turn of speaking to some women who were single. That wasn't a good choice, because what I learned is in my pain, in my grief, because it is a grief, because there's a death. There's a death that has happened. There's a death of a union, right? A union that you feel should be forever. In that grief, I really just needed someone to hear me. I needed someone to talk to. I needed to figure things out. And even though I had one happily married person that I could speak with who always gave me course correction, who always stood up for me and my husband's best interests. Once I left the divorce because of the pain, I navigated to speaking to some single women who had maybe my best interests at heart, right? And they was listening to the marriage woes and things like that. But what I didn't realize in that pain, and I was blinded to, which I feel like I should have been a little bit more smarter, is that a lot of them were envious of my marriage. A lot of them wanted what I had. So speaking to them from a space of being married, having the house, having the multi-million dollar business, having all of the things that we dream of and that we aspire to get to in a marriage, having a loving husband that honored me at one point, right? Having the home, having all of the things, there still was a lack of healthy communication and healthy love source. And in that, once I left, I began speaking to a few women who were single. And I realized after getting through some of the grief and the pain that speaking to them wasn't a wise decision because they actually had never been married, right? They're yearning and desiring to be married, right? They want, they're envious. And sometimes envy doesn't mean in wanting what you have. They may have wanted their own level of what success, marriage success supposedly looked like, right? But in this instance, yeah, I fucked up because I learned that you have to be wise in what information that you share and with what people. Okay. So let me give you that first clear suggestion. Now, in also leaving a marriage, there comes confusion, there comes a lot of grief, and most of all, I experienced a lack of confidence. I am a person that is highly confident. I don't believe in competing. I think healthy competition at times is good when both people understand, their level of what they're doing in that competition, but not when it comes to marriage or not when it comes to um, leaving a marriage. The lack of confidence that comes over you during that time it's a very painful experience, especially if you're someone that's pretty confident. If you are the person that builds everyone's confidence or, you build everyone's optimism and you give positive feedback and you sharing love and all of these things for other people, you're serving in this way. And then now you're stuck in a space, in a place where you don't know who you are. Why, right? I was connected to this man for so many years, to this husband, and we had this plan. What happened to the plan? Somewhere in there, the plan became muddled. Somewhere in there, the plan became confusion. The plan became anger. The plan became bitterness. And if you're not working on healing from a level of personal trauma, all of that past pain will come into the relationship, into the marriage, and you'll begin blaming one another for other people's shit. Let's be clear. You'll begin looking at your mate as the one who wounded you in the past, and you'll begin attaching the level of what's going on in your current marriage to all of the other people who may have hurt you or disappointed you. And that is so unfair. That is so unfair to the marriage. It is so unfair to the children, if there's children involved. It's unfair to the families. And most of all, it's unfair to you. It was unfair to me. It was very unfair to me. And in a lack of confidence, what happens is your esteem is affected, right? You begin to have low self-esteem, or you feel inadequate, or you feel unloved. You feel, like you have some incompetencies going on, and you just can't quite get it together. I know for me, I just couldn't figure it out. And that frustrated me more than anything. I am a person of solutions. I believe there's a formula for everything. There's a formula for everything, and we can do this. I can do this, right? And it pained me so much that no matter what I did, no matter who I became, even in the times I reduced myself to get along, it wasn't working. And I lost myself in the marriage, and I was even more lost when I left the marriage. I didn't have any direction. I didn't know what I was doing, when I was doing it, how I was supposed to do it. I lost everything in the process. I lost my trust. I lost my faith. I lost my currency, the way my money flowed. Everything in my life was affected, including my happiness. So I want to share with you that I had to surrender and trust. I had to surrender. I had to surrender who I thought I was. I had to surrender everything that I knew about myself. I had to look in the mirror and get real honest about my shit, right? And I also had to step back from what I thought I knew and really let God take the wheel. And in my prayer life that has increased due to my releasing my marriage, I had to ask the Most High, is this what you want for me? Are you really going to honor me leaving my marriage? Are you really happy with me? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And in my prayer time, I heard, daughter, the most prized and desired thing I want for you is your happiness, even if that means leaving your marriage. I never said that divorcing was a sin. I never said that. The sin is not taking care of yourself and getting what you need in healing from a soul level. Thank you so much. I'm Tracey, the Sacred CEO. If you like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and join us at lifeafterdivorce.com. If someone would have told me I was getting a divorce at age 56, leaving my home and my business, I would have told them they was a lie and the truth ain't in it. Well, this is my divorce story.